Welcome everybody to SoulCollage Storytime. I'm Anne-Marie Bennett from kaleidosoul.com, and today I'm reading from my book, Walking the Path of SoulCollage. SoulCollage is an intuitive art process where we create cards that represent parts of our inner world, parts of our community, parts of archetypal energies and companion animals, all parts of our world. And then we do journaling with them and reading with them. And it's a wonderful process for getting to know ourselves. Today's story is called Forgiveness as a Path to Joy. When I first began practicing SoulCollage in 2005, I was reading a book called A Map for Joy by Terry Johnson. In this lovely book, Terry shares 16 practical ways to bring more joy into our lives. As a way to steep myself in this theme, I decided to create one SoulCollage card for each of those joy bringers. Some of the themes discussed were emotional well-being, self-acceptance, embracing abundance, fostering friendships, laughter and play, expressing gratitude, and honoring my values. I found it simple to create cards for all of those pathways to joy. However, lesson number 3 was called Hold No Grievances. And the message was all about, you guessed it, forgiveness. I'd had some experience with forgiveness back in my 30s when the school system I worked for in Virginia had done a major injustice to a good friend of mine. And also when I chose to let go of an alcoholic relationship. Forgiveness also was something I had learned about when processing the abusive way my mother had treated me when I was a pre-adolescent. Diving deep within from a place of compassion allowed me to understand some powerful truths. I saw for the first time that forgiving someone had nothing to do with forgetting, at least not right away, and nothing to do with whether or not the other person deserved forgiveness. I learned in a huge way that the forgiveness was really only for me. So I challenged myself to make a card, a SoulCollage card for forgiveness. It was an interesting journey making this card. The images I put together spoke to me of the spaciousness and calm that I felt after I was able to forgive and let go of the past. Lily Tomlin was once known to say, "Forgiveness means giving up all hope for a better past." And while that may be amusing, it is also very true. When I forgave the people who ran the school system where I worked, when I was able to truly let go of the alcoholic who caused me so much emotional pain, when I opened my closed heart and released the ways my mother had wounded me, I was changing the way I thought and felt about my past. I was releasing the past. I was letting it go. And in doing that, I was able to remain more fully in the present, which is where all joy resides. After I made this forgiveness card for my deck, it occurred to me that I still had some forgiveness work to do. At that time, 2 of my stepchildren were still living at home with us, even though they were adults. Stuff from the past was continually flashing before my eyes in relation to them. And then there was my husband's ex-wife. While she lived many miles away from us and we never saw her, she was still in the way, so to speak. Once again, I had to make a choice to forgive the stepchildren whose rejections made my heart ache, or to guarantee myself a continuing lifetime of grasping onto what I could not have. And another choice, to forgive my stepchildren's mother, or to allow her actions to continue to hinder my light forever. I chose to forgive. It was definitely a choice, and it took a while for my inner feelings to catch up with that conscious commitment to forgiveness. Along the way, there was also a deep effort on my part toward self-forgiveness for the way that I had not taken care of myself during that alcoholic relationship, for never confronting my mother about the short-term abuse, and finally, forgiving myself for not being a perfect stepmother. Time for reflection. Consider creating your own card or any other kind of art for one of the many aspects of forgiveness. I am one who wants to forgive but isn't ready yet. Or I am the one who forgives from my heart for the sake of my own heart. Or I am the one who needs forgiveness. In Desmond Tutu's The Book of Forgiving, The Fourfold Path to Healing Ourselves and Our World, he stresses that one of the steps to forgiveness is actually preparing to forgive. With that in mind, you might want to consider the idea of becoming willing to be willing to forgive someone or yourself. Thank you for joining me today. This has been from my book, Walking the Path of Soul Collage.